Hey, happy Friday. I like my new honey's Burberry, honey. Hey, clock that. So what we doing this Friday night? Well, I've been watching The Cult of Nature Boy. And I got some things that I observed about this documentary. I love watching documentaries, first of all. And I don't know where I was when all this was going on. I guess I wasn't following this. I think I've only remembered seeing, I don't know, maybe something came across the feed, but I remember something about a nature boy, polyamorous like life. And I remember like something like a clip with somebody on the beach. That's all I remember that I can even, if that was that, I don't know. Or even if they were calling this guy like a nature boy. I'm not sure. But I remember that's the only thing I can even think that I remember. But anyways, watching this show or this documentary, what I got out of it, there are a lot of people who want to belong to something. And that to the point that they would leave their family members, block their family members to follow this man. And I was like, what kind of psyche does a person or characteristics of a person that needs this type of leadership? I just cannot imagine, because I watch YouTube a lot. Following somebody and deciding, oh, I'm going to pick up, leave the United States and go where they're at. And throw everything to the wind and go under this man's leadership. I guess maybe because I don't like to be led. I don't. So I can't even imagine deserting my family, basically unplugging from them to go to a place that I perceive to be paradise with a person I don't really know. I don't care if I've been talking to you FaceTime for years. I don't know you. I ain't been with you, touched you, seen how you act outside of this phone. I don't know what your life is like or outside of the computer. I am a skeptic by nature. So I just cannot sit there and take what you say and then for me to follow it, because even the Lord give you free will. This man ain't gave nobody no free will. That man. And it started out like it's some kind of enlightening spiritual journey for these people, which ultimately ended up in a nightmare in Atlanta by a YN. He over there clowning them like Blueface be clowning Nevaeh and Christian and everybody else, but worse. At one point in time, it was like baddies on the beach. And these people's minds were so far gone. The men were told, like, ask would they drink this man's cum. These niggas up here talking about yes. They are calling him the Messiah. So what he did, he got these people to come in and sold them on this dream about melanation, being one with the sun, First it was supposed to be a black utopia, the white girl got involved. So then a white boy came. But honey, when the first time they end up getting in trouble for not getting those passports passport stamped in Costa Rica, and then these people got arrested because he was resisting. And some of them got beat up. And the white boy got so scared. He should have known once he had to give up his debit card and his money. But he got out of there. The one white lady, which made it national news, or people started looking at this group of people, because the white girl had left her, went down there supposedly for some kind of religious retreat. And they find out she out there on YouTube with this man up here, this black leader that's unorthodox. Honey, her parents and everybody got the news on it. So she been kidnapped. So she had to go back home. Honey, look, whenever they get to missing them white tea people, honey, they gonna look for them. And now one of them black families, I don't know if they went looking for them, but I guess they said they grown. But me and mine, I would definitely been on the police about trying to see about my child, like them white people was. So you have a girl that's from New Orleans that grew up very poor, had never really been anywhere, that was in college, dropped out of college, took what was left of her financial aid money and gave it to the man. She met somebody that was a part of that. And what they would do, have the nice looking men online trying to, like thirst trap to get the women to come. Same as probably with the women, showing the other women, showing what is really, showing this beautiful life. And it's not. Because like I said, even the Lord gives you free will. And you don't get no free will with this man. None. Then the man got so bold as to, he renamed people. He renamed them. So, and basically, because, that was all government stuff. You tied to this, but he required all the people to desert their families. Because see, anytime you go to get in something and they want you to desert everything that that is not the kind of thing that you're supposed to be involved in. Honey, I went to a church one time when I was in the military, and they talked about getting rid of all the TVs. Honey, I said, oh shit, let me get the fuck up out of here. This on the two Jim Joneses. And it was, a white minister. And honey, he was preaching. It was a Pentecostal church, honey, because it was up there running around, and they was what was to me a little weird because it was a white minister and the church was predominantly black. I said, ooh. Because these white women, these black ladies kept trying to get me to come to their church when I was at the barracks. And I kept telling them, look, I ain't Jehovah's Witness. So, when I came there, I'm all of, 19 years old. I got on face full for, 90s makeup. Little eyeshadow and lipstick and mascara. So that's face full of makeup for back then. And I had on jeans. So if I had on, jeans, and this church was kind of more like a sanctified church, and I should have known something was up, because them women, when they were out there trying to, get people to come to church and witness, all of them were mostly wear their hair natural. And, that wasn't the end thing back then, but it was natural. And then they was trying to put the hair up in a bun. You know how they kind of wore it on Little House on the Prairie? I don't know. But, some of them sisters, how the hair do in the natural state. Some of them I seen had them straightened, but they still was wearing them. But I said, what the world kind of, this 1991? Yeah, it's 91. Or early 92. I can't remember. I think early 92. And I'm like, so but they talked about burning up TVs, having a ceremony where they're gonna burn up TVs. I was like, oh no, I ain't never coming back here. No. What the TV got to do with it? That's how I am. So for me to take my life savings or whatever little money I got to flee the country that the only thing I know about, to go to this utopia, the man didn't even have a place. They were renting Airbnbs, which, because I was like, oh, they got nice places. They were staying in tents. Then he didn't want the people to use the bathroom in the house. The girl said her first day there, she used the bathroom in the middle of the night in there. She said she let loose. And you got to think you're going to this place is strange. They were in Costa Rica at first. So, but then they ended up getting deported from there because they weren't getting their passport stamped because he was trying to be defiant. He didn't want to have where the government couldn't tell him what to do. So they deported him back. Then, they went to a couple different states, and then they ended up going several different places to like California, Hawaii. I said people must be sending them a whole lot of money. But ultimately, they ended up in Atlanta because they got put out of Hawaii during COVID. But the girl that came there for New Orleans, she was there for another guy. But see, after 9 months, they broke up, and he made her like the queen or whatever, and he was whooping her ass. And she ended up having a baby by him, and it was just craziness. And he really just started, went from this utopia type situation, spiritually led, to he is the Messiah, to him being a YN, like making them have threesomes, making her, and doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do, and bragging about it and showing it on his lives. Watch me do this. Watch me make these, and smacking people and doing all that. And basically, the things that convicted him really is all of his live broadcasts, plus the way his antics in court. He got a lot in prison. Life in prison is what this man got. I just ain't never seen nothing like that. This Nature Boy. I mean, if y'all get a chance to watch it, it's on Hulu. I watched it all this evening. I'm like, what kind of people? I mean, and they were smart and intelligent people. Spoke very well. The one guy from Georgia, straight A student, been in the military. I said, but one reason why I didn't really, I did as little as I could do in the military. I did 2 years, and the rest of it was inactive. I didn't like them telling me or not being like in charge of myself because Uncle Sam ultimately owned me. Ain't like that shit. I felt like it was no different than being in prison to me. Telling me when I can go home. I ain't like that. And then like every damn holiday, my ass had to be on some kind of fucking duty. CQ or guard duty at the ammo point, which was stupid. Because you guarding the ammunition with a damn 2x4? What kind of bullshit is that? I'm like, somebody coming to the ammo point, and all I got is a 2x4, and you coming to take ammunition? That's the shit we had to do in Fort Riley, Kansas, which was dumb as hell. I said we should have been armed with rifles or something, not armed with nothing but a 2x4, and go, huh, who goes there? No. But watching this documentary is like, I'm thinking to myself, how people be so stupid? Why do you want somebody to be in control of your person like that? To humiliate you? It is documented all over social media. And he's over there making money. I don't understand it. Why you need to belong to something that bad? Because a lot of them say, they join, when 45 was inaugurated. Honey, ain't nothing in life never that bad for me to go. Back up, honey, as soon as they would have said you got to turn over your debit card, I was like, what? First of all, I ain't going to another country and trying to stay. Honey, they was in Costa Rica, they was in Mexico, they was in Hawaii. They had to come back to the States. They were, California, and ultimately in Georgia, Atlanta, because that's where he got locked up, down there in DeKalb County, where he got life in prison. But it seems like the backstory on him, his mother was a crackhead, and his daddy was real old, and they both died. And he grew up in foster care, and he said the people would put Ajax on him and scrub him down because he was dark skinned and trying to brighten his skin up. You know that shit don't work. So I think he's born like 1982 or something. I don't know. But this nature boy, I once he realized he had those people's mind, he mistreated the fuck out of them. I mean, these people were in, I would have thought some of them seem like scholars. Most of them seem like they're very educated. I'm like, how could you be that fucking weak-minded? Like I said, I'm a skeptic by heart. You can't tell me. You can tell me the sky is blue. I'm still gonna look and see for myself. I just don't understand it. To be brainwashed in 2020, anything, 2019, 2018, 20, whatever, and to be mistreated, that is crazy. That is the most craziest documentary I've about watched. I done seen some other ones about different cults. And these were basically, they always end up the male ego, and they got to sleep with all the women in there. They separated the women from the men, and ultimately, he wanted to have his way with all of the women. The one I did watch that was on Netflix, it was a man, I thought it was out of Texas. I'm not very sure. I can't remember. But I watched it, and he was sleeping with the kids, honey. And they had him like, they be on like this altar. And like, I think it was like a white altar. And this, it's like, and the one girl here that was from, I think, was she from Seattle? I think so. She was a virgin when she joined this thing. So, she looked like she was at least college age or something, She was a virgin, but, here his interest. Yeah, he wanted to pop her cherry. So he got the velvet girl, who was actually there for another guy, which he ended up getting her and impregnating her. But that velvet girl had, like they were friends. And the velvet girl never was like I guess never possessed the queen like air. She didn't look down upon the other people, but ultimately that girl ran away. She got the fuck up out of there. And she got up out of there when they was out of this. I think they were out of the country. I think they were somewhere in Mexico. She got her baby up, and honey, put that little sad thing on with the baby in there and took off running in the middle, no, not in the middle of the night, but she said she got everybody drunk. She made the drinks and everything, and I guess in high, and got the hell up out of there. So yeah, him. I'm just like, so at his trial, he just kind of showed out. He even did to the point his lawyer was done with him, because he tried to fire his lawyer in the middle. And he couldn't. They wouldn't let him do that because he wanted to start the trial over. But this man was so egotistical, and I guess he must believe the hype too, that he thought he was some kind of God. Because he said he's the Messiah. He said he's been through everything in life. I said, but Jesus was a virgin. He wasn't interested. So anything that's supposed to be about love, you're not abusing anyone. Jesus knew no woman. Like I said, even God gave you free will. But this man wanted to control every aspect of everyone there for them to follow him. And he went through, I don't know if he has different personalities, but he went from this spiritual like type thing, sun, dirt, and all that stuff, to a fucking YN. A YN doing a baddie show. I mean, to the worst imps of Blueface, to the worst of that. But you're showing it all on camera. So basically, the one girl tried that was gonna leave, but he said he needed to come in her one more time. She had to Uber outside. Instead of leaving, she stayed, and he told her he wasn't gonna grape her. And she was like, okay, let me get this done and over with. But basically, she was the catalyst that brought him down. And because there was like some internet investigators that really helped with it too. They were looking at this and, calling the police like the folks be trying to do on Kashawn about her baby. And you ain't seen her do nothing wrong to her child other than whatever they thought she might have did when she was pregnant. But how do we know that was really real or what? But I'm saying this man was actually on there abusing these people. So they would do these welfare checks in Atlanta, but the people say they were fine. I said, shoot, when he put him like an R. Kelly almost, like what was the girl's parents, something Savage? And her parents kept on because she would never come home. And that girl was trying to tell me she where she wanted to be at, honey. And that's kind of what started the downfall of R. Kelly. That girl's parents and everybody, kind of, they got enough noise going. And then I think there was another group out there that's called Mute R. Kelly. And they had was making sure that he couldn't play any clubs or anywhere around there to make no money. But this guy here seems like his dreams took off once that white girl made it national news. Everybody jumped on this. Watching it. People reviewing it and saying that some people agreeing, but as it goes on and people see how he's treating the girl from Velvet, and they people want to know she was okay. But they make you leave your support, your family. And some of them, once they got in it so deep, they were scared to even leave because it's like, what am I going to go back to? That was the thought. What am I going to go back to? How am I going to live this down? What are they going to say? I've been with a cult. Then they had one while, and they all went to, they were in Vegas and had them all to go down there to get married. So he married the girl, the queen girl, which is the Velvet. Everybody's paired up and married. And the girl said she believed that was for protection. So he knew they couldn't testify against, nobody could testify. His wife wouldn't testify against him. But his wife did ultimately, because when she ran away, he went live and was threatening her, all the things he's gonna do. So it's on there. So once they handed down that life sentence, that girl was so happy she's not gonna live my life. Because I mean, I think he had upwards probably over 500,000 subscribers. I think on his YouTube channel. So I don't know, then he had, different platforms that he had, but ultimately what made the girl who was leaving come at him, because another girl who kind of was corresponding with her, another internet investigator, a social media investigator, know that because the man went live, said they had sex one more time, and I guess he smacked her or something, and she decided to leave or whatever. But there was a video, he uploaded the videos on Twitter of them having sex. So in the state of Georgia, about the revenge porn. And the girl told him about it, and that's how it all started. And it actually escalated, the charges escalated from there. And the judge said, he had no remorse or anything, the way he acted in court. And they handed him down a life sentence plus, I think, a life sentence plus either 10 or 20 years, I can't remember, for something else. So, holding them against their will. Because I think after his antics in court is what really got him that way. Then he wanted his members to speak. And I guess his attorney didn't want the members. I'm here to give you a good defense. We don't want your members to speak because they're going to get cross-examined. And when they got cross-examined, they got caught in all kind of lies because they got the videos to prove what they were lying about. Because one guy said he never seen him hit somebody. And he in the video right there when he hit somebody. He right there. I'm like, this got to be the dumbest motherfucker ever. But I guess when you feel like you have that much control over someone and you can just do what you want to somebody, he didn't think shit was going to happen to him. Like my mom said, he didn't think fat meat was greasy. So Nature Boy went from having this euphoria-like spiritual place for black people to come to anybody, because once the money was coming in, he didn't give a damn. But he was already one of these thug boys. Look, he used to be a barber. He had a barber shop, but it seems like before that, he had got 2 baby mamas. He beat up one so bad that they had to. That's when he went and got his spiritual enlightenment. I need to figure out what kind of con I'm gonna run on these people. Most of them people who's doing this, they don't believe the junk they saying. So, you had those people damn near starving them to death. They only can eat beans and rice. He out going out and getting lobster and shrimp and everything else. So one time they formed a circle while he's sitting there abusing the girl, assaulting her. And while the other people stood around, they grabbed the baby from her and let him do this. They thought, oh, maybe she did something wrong. The guy said that's how indoctrinated he was. I mean, this guy is educated, and I'm sitting here looking like, what kind of bullshit is this? And people were, just that scared, or maybe they might end up inside that circle. But he was knocking that lady out between the damn palm trees and the sand. The Velvet girl that had his baby. So she had the baby down there in Costa Rica, I believe it was, or somewhere in Mexico, wherever. and they had to take her to the hospital. Cause I'm like, who gonna birth? You know, who gonna deliver this baby? So he went live while he was in there, and they had this baby. Then he treated her so mean, and then and she started, was starting to rebel, but she never seen herself as possessing this queen-like spirit, because I'm glad she didn't, because she would have treated them people like that. Her ass probably been locked up too. But she got the hell up out of there. When you feel like you gotta run for your God, because she probably felt like this man probably gonna really do something to me over here in this other country. I'll get the fuck up out of here. Because he already was saying, things online saying, I can do what I want to do, and nobody can care about no black girl over here in this other country. So, honey, I don't know. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about this Nature Boy documentary and like what kind of mindset do you have to just cast all things in the wind and go follow some shit like this. People, you need to think. I ain't never did that. I mean, and you have to be kind of weak-minded, really gullible, looking for somebody to tell you what to do. I just don't, I'm not one of those type of girlies. I ain't that kind of person with my husband. Shit, hell no. You ain't about to tell me what the fuck to do. I already been raised once by Gate the Gray and Flint Cooper. Whatever my mom and dad didn't do, I'm sorry. The Lord gonna have to figure it out with me. There ain't no man about to do it. You ain't gonna be knocking my head between what they say, the washer machine and the dryer. You must do that. Cause I'm a little lady behind. I'm gonna fight your ass back. You know you've been in a brawl. You gonna know it. I'm not that kind of woman. No. You ain't about to be having me walking around with black eyes and all that kind of stuff, bruised up, and me scared and not to be submissive to you while you doing it. No, 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 don't work that way. No. Mm-mm. No. And that's what was happening to that young lady. That, because he was saying it was, men have to do that to women. They have to show their dominance over women. What kind of y'all women sitting up here listening to this? No, what was y'all looking for in life that somebody else needed to tell y'all something else? That you have to follow up behind something like this. No, not me. I have my own natural high. That's why I ain't never really got off into no kind of drugs and nothing like that. Because, first of all, I thought I was too cute when I was young. And they showed us what life was like, supposed to be on, like on Crack Street. I'm like, why would anybody want to look like that? No, I'm old and everything now, old and fat. But yeah, I'm watching this documentary. I'm trying to see what else I need to watch. So yeah, it's a good documentary to watch, but this was foolishness. But that's what the Bible say. In the end, when we see the devil, we're gonna be like, this was it? This is who? This is what caused all that. When we finally get a chance to see, if y'all believe in the Bible, and when you look at that man sitting there by his counsel, or even in the other room, chained and shackled via Zoom, this man, that guy, ego tripping like a motherfucker. I don't know. I don't know what kind of person you got to be to follow up behind some shit like that. I don't know. But, that's my thoughts for tonight. Honey, it's Friday night. I'm gonna finish cleaning up my kitchen. Wait on my husband to get home from work, I guess. So y'all have a great Friday evening. And look, y'all like my Burberry glasses. Yeah, I like that. I'm looking mighty smart. Sorry to get all my other frames. I got some nice Dolce & Gabbana frames, and I'm gonna get all the lenses done. I gotta find the damn frames so I can be able to interchange. Because I usually get like a progressive reader, but my eyesight is getting a little bit worse. I'm telling you, I never wore glasses until I got in my 40s, and it was a progressive reader, and from there, it's just gotten worse. So they say it's that muscle, So, but anyways, I'm over here looking smart on a Friday night, watching documentaries on Hulu. So y'all take it easy. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother Day to all you mothers. And shit, use your brain. Don't be falling up behind nobody, looking for them to lead you. Shit. God gives us all discernment. Anytime somebody want to have total control over you, the Lord gives you free will. So if the Lord gave me free will, ain't nobody have no fucking total control over me. Ever. No. Not as long as I got my right mind. They still can move around. But good night. I'll talk to you later. Swear on the curb. Peace out.